class, this is homework help with page 25 and 26 out of your practice book. Let me scroll to page 25 and 26 here. So before we do anything, read the example. You can pause this video until you've read the example because you need to understand how they're estimating the square root of 6 in order to do number 1. Okay? So now that you've read the example, we're going to actually plot the square root of 6 on your number line here. And if you look at the number line, it's to the nearest hundredths place, so 2 decimal places. And if you read the example, you saw that 2.44 squared and then 2.45 squared, right in the middle of it, that's where 6 is going to belong. So when you plot that, you're going to go ahead and say, okay, that it should be right around here, and you can have it anywhere in here. It's really close to 2.45. Okay. Check your answer by finding square root of 6 in your calculator, and then when you do that, you get 2.4. Sorry, there's a delay here on my pen. 449, and then it keeps going 48973. You can just write out maybe 3 or 4 more decimal places. Next one, find square root of 10 to the nearest hundredth and explain how you found this. So kind of multiple ways you can do this. I'm going to scroll right now down to the bottom of the page here. And on this one, you could draw a number line. When you draw your number line, you can picture some perfect squares. For example, let's say you have maybe 3 on here, so that would be square root of 9. We're looking for square root of 10, so we know it's going to be more than that. And then maybe you have 4 on here, so that would be the square root of 16. Okay. Looking at square root of 10, you know that it has to be pretty close to that square root of 9. So between here, you could list 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, and you could keep going like that. Okay. You could then square, so 3.1 squared. Okay, and see what you get there. Then you could do 3.2 squared, and you're looking for which one is going to give you as close as you can get to that square root of 10. Okay, so we're looking for as close to 10 as we can get here. Okay. When you do that, you'll find that, yeah, it's between those 2 numbers. Okay. If you go even a little bit closer, or if you're using your calculator, you'll see that it's right in between 3.16 and 3.17. That's a really close estimation there. Okay. Moving on to number 4, explain how a rational number and irrational number are different. You'd want to look at the 4 square that we created in class, and here you'll want to explain something about a predictable number or something about rational numbers. We know what they're going to do. Like, for example, 1/3 is rational because it's 0.3 repeating. We know it's going to keep going with 0.3. Or maybe some nice, neat, perfect squares would be a good example there. Irrational number, remember, they never terminate. They keep going. There's no pattern to them. So explain something like that right there. Okay, I'll scroll down just a little bit more. All right, next. Describe how you would compare 3.6 and the square root of 12. So a couple things. You could punch in square root of 12 into your calculator if you wanted to do that. You would see that square root of 12 is between 3.4 and 3.5 when you do that. So when they're asking you to compare here, it's asking you to say, well, how do they compare on a number line? Like, which one's greater? You would say 3.6 is greater than the square root of 12. Okay, moving on. So based on what we did in class, we did number 8 in class and started it. So is 1.75 a reasonable estimate for square root of 8? I'm going to scroll down to the number line on number 8 here. based on what we did here, the square root of 8, this is one we did in class, was really close to 2.75. So your answer on number 6 would be a no, that 1.75 is not a reasonable estimate for that, because it should be more around 2.75, okay, or just a little bit over that. On the number line below, will square root of 20 be closer to 4.4 or 4.5? So again, if you look at number 8, the one we started in class, here's 4.5, and we decided that square root of 20 would be a reasonable estimate here based on what we did in class. And so by looking at the number line, that means that the square root of 20 is going to be really close to 4.5 compared to 4.4. So we would say that it's closer to 4.5, and you could show this by going 4.4 squared and then do 4.5 squared, and you would see which one it was closer to by doing that. Okay, hopefully this helps. And number 8 we did in class, and you have your answers to compare right here for number 8. All right, thanks.